Hey squirrel friend, and welcome back to the nest. Today, as you saw by the title, we're going to talk about things to ask the tarot, what to ask and what not to ask the tarot during a tarot reading. Whether you're doing a tarot reading for yourself or you're going to a professional to get a tarot reading, I'm going to give you some insight onto what to ask the tarot cards, or more importantly, how to ask the tarot. We'll cover on things on asking the tarot questions, how to prepare questions for a tarot reading, what types of questions to ask the tarot, and of course, what types of questions not to ask the tarot. And if you stay tuned to the end of the video, I will give you my top 3 questions to never ask a tarot reader, along with the top 3 best type of questions to ask. Overall, the great thing about tarot is you can ask just about anything, but you don't have a clue what you're gonna ask or how you should ask it, do you? The questions that you ask during a reading will determine how effective the reading is for you or not. A tarot reading can make you aware of your strengths, your weaknesses, aid you in depression, improve your ability to relate with others, aid in major decisions in life, and so much more. If you wish to gain insight into the answers that you were looking for in a tarot reading, it's necessary to ask the right questions. It's extremely important in order to get value out of your tarot reading. Asking random questions during a tarot reading is only going to get you random answers. It's important to ask the right questions at the right time. Carefully crafted questions will address your concerns and shed light onto a path that you should take in order to be able to achieve your goals. And most importantly, your experience with the tarot cards will be more enriched and more rewarding. For some people, asking the right questions or right type of questions comes rather easily. If you're like most people, you're probably not as skilled as in asking questions in an optimal way. So you might need some tips for what to ask the tarot, and that's okay. Before you go to a tarot reader or are doing a reading for yourself, sit down and really think of how exactly you want to phrase your questions. Close-ended questions are best to avoid. Tarot readings aren't necessarily meant to give you like a yes or no answer to something that's a very complex question. And you may be able to get a yes or no answer, but it doesn't assist in like a deep reflection or understanding of the question. Instead of asking the card something like, will I get a position at work? You should rephrase that question on like, how do I succeed in my job? Or what do I need to do to advance in my career? The more specific you are in your questions, the more specific and in-depth the tarot reading can be for you, giving you a really thoughtful, in-depth response. Open-ended questions prompt a conversation because they can't be answered with yes or no. Open-ended questions allow a tarot reading to give you more information, including feelings and attitudes, and further understanding of the subject of your question. The questions that you'll want to ask during a tarot reading are why, how, should, what, or what if. Avoid abstract or ambiguous questions at all times. Your inquiries should be extremely detailed if you want to get the guidance that you need. And as tempting as it may be, don't ask negative questions during a tarot reading. Negative thinking can pose barriers in your life and really suppress the truth. Your thoughts influence the tarot cards and of course the outcome of the reading. Instead of focusing on the negative, focus on the positive. Generally speaking, it's common to really avoid questions about health and death. Pursuing questions that allow you to take control of a situation are best. For instance, if a friend or family member is suffering, ask what you can do to support them during a difficult time. And follow-up questions are always important during a conversation. Without follow-up questions, the conversation will end abruptly and you won't learn too much about the thing that's troubling you. For instance, going back to the question of how do I better direct my career can be followed up with questions about what's stopping me from taking my career to the next level, or should I make a career change? Instead of playing the role of the victim, you should take control of the situation, take ownership, and see what can be done to change the situation. If you're getting value out of the video, smash that thumbs up! And if you've made it this far in the video, thank you very much. Now we are going to talk about the top 3 things that you should never ask a tarot reader, accompanied by the best 3 questions to ask. So questions to not ask a tarot reader.
Number 1.
Questions that you really don't want answered. This may seem obvious, but Clearly, it's best to avoid asking the tarot cards questions that you're not ready to hear the answer to. That's because they're just going to bring forth messages that you're not ready to face. If you go ahead and ask the questions and you're not pleased with the answers, then perhaps you should do some introspection and evaluate what is it about these answers that I don't like and why is that, so that you can best address this underlying issue.
Number 2.
When you are going to die. It may be an aspect of human nature to want to know this question for whatever reason, but tarot is not here to answer that question. Tarot cards are never going to tell you when you're going to die.
Number 3.
Medical related questions. Tarot is more like a therapist, not a doctor. Specific health diagnosis questions you need to go to your doctor for. Leave it up to the medical professionals for that one. You can use the tarot cards to assist in like strategies to improve your overall health, but if you want to know if you're pregnant or not, go get a pregnancy test. Now these are the best type of questions to ask in the tarot reading.
Number 1.
Open-ended questions. The reason that you want these broad questions with the tarot is because you want a story, not a final answer. You don't go to a movie to ask about what happens at the end of the movie. You want to see the movie because you want to understand the context and you want to go through the journey. Phrasing the questions in this open-ended way gives the opportunity for the cards to share some unexpected information that can be helpful. And that's what the tarot is really here about, is to help you on your journey.
Number 2.
General questions. Although asking the tarot something specific can give you further insight into the situation, sometimes you may want to ask for a general message and see what comes up. You can ask questions like, what do I need to know for the day? What do I need to know right now? Or for the week, or month, or year?
Number 3.
Clarifying questions. If you pull a card and you're still confused about how that relates in context to the conversation, you can pull a clarifying card. And it's totally cool to follow up with questions about clarification. Often the best readings come from when clarification and further conversation is had. To do this, just let the cards know that you're confused and pull another card for clarification, with the intention of getting an explanation of understanding what it means. And after that, if you're still not sure what the heck the cards are trying to tell you, don't just start haphazardly pulling a bunch of cards. Instead, sit with the cards for some time and just think on it. The answer may not be coming to you immediately, but it may be revealed in the future. Do you have any advice on what to ask or what not to ask the tarot cards? Comment down below and share with the rest of Squirrel Nest so we can all learn and grow together. If you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're feeling generous, please share this with others. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe and turn on all notifications to be notified of every time I post a new video. And until next time, squirrel friend, much love and light. Mwah.